time outdoors is one of the best ways we bond as a family. And for us, that includes our husky Astrid. She's not just a pet, she's family. So when we planned a 3-week road trip across some of the most iconic national parks in the US, we knew we wanted her by our side for the adventure. But here is the thing no one really tells you. Most US national parks in the West aren't very dog-friendly. It takes a lot of research, careful planning, and flexibility to make it work. But if you're committed, and if your dog loves being on the road like Astrid does, it's absolutely worth it. In this video, we'll walk you through each park we visited, what worked, what didn't, and how we made the most of it. And towards the end, we'll talk about Canadian parks, where dogs are not just allowed, they are welcomed. Let's dive in. Before this trip, we explored Acadia National Park on the East Coast. And let me tell you, it was a dream. Acadia is one of the most dog-friendly national parks in the US. Nearly every trail, carriage road, and beach allows leash dogs. We hiked together, explored the rocky coastline, and even watched the sunset from Cadillac Mountain side by side with Astrid. The experience was so refreshing and stress-free. If you've been thinking about a park to explore with your dog, Acadia should be at the top of your list. Honestly, it set the bar pretty high. Let me know in the comments if you would like a full detailed video just on exploring Acadia with a dog. I'll be happy to share more. Badlands National Park in South Dakota is a surreal landscape of layered rock formations, sharp ridges, and wide open prairie. Unfortunately, no trails in the park allow dogs, but that doesn't mean you have to skip it if you are traveling with one. The Badlands Loop Road is a beautiful drive with plenty of scenic pullouts where dogs are allowed at the parking lots and lookouts. Just remember to always keep your dog on the leash. Some great stops include Big Badlands Overlook, Panorama Point, and Yellow Mounds. Astrid got to enjoy the wind in her fur while we admire the dramatic scenery around us. Admiring this beautiful, dramatic scenery is definitely worth a stop. We also spotted bison and prairie dogs through the car windows, which Astrid found really entertaining. While researching the dog-friendly activities around the park, we found a real gem, Old Northeast Road, just outside the park near Cedar Pass. It's a quiet gravel road where you can walk with your dog and still admire those jaw-dropping views from a distance. It's a great way to exercise your dog and give them a break from sitting in the car. Funny enough, the landscape reminded us a lot of Canadian Badlands near Drumheller. I'll flash a few clips here. Same eerie beauty, but in Canada, your dog can actually hike with you. More on that later. Mount Rushmore itself isn't dog-friendly. You can't bring your pup up to the monument, but you can still view it from the distance, especially from the highway pullouts and nearby scenic points. It's quick and still worth a stop. What really made this area special, though, was Custer State Park right next door. This state park is incredibly dog-friendly and honestly one of our favorite stops in that area. The Wildlife Loop Road takes you through rolling hills and open prairies. We've seen massive herds of bison, hundreds of them. Golden hour here is pure magic. Astrid was safe inside the car, but definitely alert and fascinated by everything going on outside. Unlike the national parks, dogs are allowed on trails in Custer as long as they are leashed. It's a perfect place to balance sightseeing with real outdoor time with your dog. Yellowstone is one of the most iconic national parks in the US, and also one of the least dog-friendly. Dogs aren't allowed on trails, boardwalks, or in the backcountry. That said, it's still possible to enjoy the park with a bit of strategy. We saw few geysers that were just a super short walk from a parking lot on our own, as it wasn't very hot and we had a strong fan for Astrid to make her comfortable and ensure she doesn't overheat. When leaving your dog in a car, even for a short bit, make sure you always monitor the weather conditions. Astrid then got to see the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone from few lookout points. As for the dog-friendly geysers, Old Faithful has a grassy area nearby where dogs are allowed. You can watch the eruption from there, just not on the main platform. The Old Faithful Inn sells huckleberry ice cream that Astrid really loved. For us, Lamar Valley was the highlight of Yellowstone, especially at dawn and dusk. That's when we saw endless herds of bison. We actually got stuck in the traffic due to bison crossing the roads. Astrid was glued to the window like it was the best live show she's ever seen. Just a quick note, always keep your dog secured in the car, ideally with a seatbelt harness, especially when wildlife is nearby. Bison may be big, but they are very agile. They can run up to 25 miles per hour, and they tend to be quite unpredictable. Safety first. We camped inside the park at Mammoth Campground, which is dog-friendly and surrounded by scenic views. It's a really great way to spend some time together after a day of being trapped in a car. Grand Teton is another park where dogs aren't allowed on trails, but the driving experience is just spectacular. The mountains are always there in the background, towering above lakes and forests. We stopped constantly to snap photos and take it all in. Grand Tetons are one of those places where you don't even have to hike sometimes to get some of the most amazing views. It's also a great reminder that you can make amazing memories with your dog even in places that are seemingly not dog-friendly. one super nice surprise. There's a paved path near Jenny Lake that leads to a gorgeous viewpoint, and it's dog-friendly. It's short but scenic and worth doing. You can also view Mormon Row and its iconic barns from the parking lot area with your dog. To hike a short trail up to Taggart Lake without Astrid, we woke up super early, around sunrise. That way we could hike while the car stayed cool and she was comfortable for those 2 hours. Honestly, it worked great. The trails were empty, the light was beautiful, and everyone was happy. After hiking, we explored Jackson, which is super dog-friendly. Lots of patios and shops welcomed Astrid with treats and water bowls. Just outside the park, we found amazing dog-friendly trails in the Caribou-Targhee National Forest and Fall Creek Falls. It's a great way to exercise your dog so that they can dump some energy before spending a day in a car. The nature is gorgeous there, so it's totally worth the hike. It's also much less busy than the national park itself, so it's a great way to take it all in without feeling overwhelmed with the crowds. Craters of the Moon is an otherworldly place. Volcanic rock, lava tubes, and alien-like landscapes. Sadly, dogs aren't allowed on the trails here either. But once again, the loop drive through the park is scenic and the stops are short. We took turns walking the short trails while the other person stayed with Astrid in the car as it was way too hot to leave her alone. Starting early in the day helped a lot. Temperatures can spike here even in the spring. The Inferno Cone viewpoint and Spatter Cones are quick stops with incredible views. Even though we couldn't hike as a family, we all got to enjoy the strange beauty of this place. With enough water, airflow, and timing, it's one of those parks that can still work with a dog. Crater Lake is stunning. The deep blue water, the caldera, the surrounding cliffs, it almost doesn't look real. Most of the trails aren't dog-friendly, but you can walk the paved Rim Village area with your pup, and honestly, the views from there are incredible. You get sweeping views of the lake and Wizard Island without needing to hike at all. When we visited in late June, there was still some snow on the ground, which Astrid absolutely loved. She rolled, hopped, and played like it was winter. The weather was cool, which made walking around easy and comfortable. This is one of those parks where even without trail access, you don't miss much by sticking to the scenic overlooks. Definitely worth a stop. Mount Rainier is breathtaking, snow-capped peaks, waterfalls, and wildflowers. But again, dogs aren't allowed on the trails. We made the most of a scenic drive, stopping at pullouts to admire the mountains from the different angles. There are even some scenic lakes like the Reflection Lake and waterfalls just off the roadside, so you can see them with your pup. You can definitely experience the magic of Rainier without breaking the rules. We spotted a really cute marmot on the parking lot. We've also seen a cinnamon black bear. What an experience! Olympic is a mix of dog-friendly and not so dog-friendly. Let's start with the first one. The coastlines, like Kalalok Beach and Ruby Beach, are absolutely stunning and open to dogs on leashes. Think massive driftwood, sea stacks, and endless waves. Astrid loved it here. We spent hours walking along the beaches and soaking up the peaceful vibes. Always remember to follow leash rules, especially with wildlife around. Beaches also tend to be quite busy, so be mindful of that if your dog is more reactive or shy. After exploring a few not-so-dog-friendly parks, beaches in the Olympic were just such a treat. One of our favorite inland dog-friendly trails was the hike to Devil's Punch Bowl, which passes through an old railroad tunnel and hugs the edge of a beautiful lake. The water in the punch bowl itself has the most unreal color. Drive up to the Hurricane Ridge is spectacular. While the trails at the top don't allow dogs, the parking lot does and the views are sweeping. We recommend driving up at dawn or dusk to see the landscapes in the golden hour light, which makes it look even more breathtaking. You can also see herds of elk there, so make sure your dog is on leash and that you keep a safe distance. Sadly, the iconic Hawk Rainforest doesn't allow dogs at all. But here is the twist. Just across the water, on the Vancouver Island in Canada, the Pacific Rim National Park has a nearly identical rainforest and is fully dog-friendly. The ecosystems are almost indistinguishable. So why the difference? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. On our way back to Toronto, we stopped in the Canadian Rockies and visited all of the mountain national parks: Glacier, Yoho, Kootenay, Banff, and Jasper. Every single one of these parks welcomes dogs on nearly all trails as long as they are leashed. We hiked through wildflower meadows, saw glaciers, crossed paths with marmots, elk, and yes, even bears. But we're always careful, sticking to the trail, keeping Astrid on leash at all times, and respecting the environment. The views were breathtaking, and it was so nice to be able to take Astrid on all the hikes. It made us wonder, if Canada can make it work with sensitive ecosystems and wildlife, why can't more US parks do the same? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Why do you think there's such a difference? Traveling through US national parks with a dog isn't always easy. It requires planning, flexibility, and keeping a close eye on weather so your dog is safe when left in the car for short periods of time. But it's totally worth it. Astrid is our family. Seeing her excited by the sights, smells, and wildlife brings us so much joy. These memories of sitting by the lake, watching bison roam, and hiking beside waterfalls are even better because we shared them with her. Time together, even if it means waking up early or taking turns on the trail, is always worth it. Thanks for watching, and if you are traveling with your pup too, I would love to hear your tips and experiences in the comments. See you in the next one!